Hey everyone, it's Shelby here. Welcome back to A Little Literary Love. I'm glad you are with me today because today's video is going to be somewhat of a duo video. I'm going to be talking about a lot of my reading goals for 2025. I'm also going to be showing you how I set up my reading journal. I use a bullet journal to do this. And hopefully you enjoy this video. Before we get into the content, please make sure that if you like this video, you are hitting that thumbs up button and subscribe if you haven't already. If you enjoy my content here, I post videos every Thursday and Sunday. We're going to get right on into it, into me showing you how I did my bullet journal. If you are new here, you may not know how I first started my YouTube videos. I was doing bullet journals and I was showing videos of those. And honestly, my first video is still like one of my highest viewed videos. But of course, then I had a couple kids since then and life happens. And I honestly just don't really have the time to devote to very elaborate and detailed bullet journal pages anymore. Also, if you're not aware, I do apologize. I have a cold, so I am losing my voice. Hopefully in the next few videos my cold will go away and we'll go back to like normal viewing pleasure, so you will. So my bullet journal this year, I have just been vibing with the color pink and purple, so that's kind of the theme that I decided to go with so far for 2025. And I always start out my beginning of the year bullet journals pretty similarly. I usually do a cover page just with the year. And then I usually do a double spread with the months of the year. I like looking ahead and planning and seeing when dates are happening. I usually use this yearly spread just to write down like different holidays and different events that I might be going to, just so I can look at it on a yearly year view. And then later on, I usually will make pages that are just for each month. So after my yearly pages, then I go to January and I do a calendar for January and so on and so forth. And of course, in each of those, that's where I write down all the books that I have read for that month. And then that's how I am able to film these videos for you all and talk about those books. also always like to do a spread that shows all of the books that I have read over the year. I like to make this look aesthetically pleasing or look really cool. I pretty well always end up doing a bookshelf of some kind. This year I decided to go a little bit fancier than I have in past years, and I did a window that there are some books on there. I also did a couple flowers, and I have a little armchair on there as well. Now, by no means am I the greatest artist in the world. I get a lot of my ideas from Pinterest. So a lot of these spreads you will be able to find looking on Pinterest. But then looking at this yearly book spread that I have to be able to view all the books that I have read, I usually color code them as well. This time around, I am color coding them to show me which books that are the format of those books. So whether that be a physical book like on my shelves behind me, or an ebook or an audiobook, I'm just kind of keeping track. I just like to see at the end of the year how I ended up consuming all of those books. also did a yearly stat of showing my 5-star reads. This time around, I thought it would be cool if I could actually print out the covers of those books and have them in my notebook. So moving forward, I can look at those. I also have my yearly overview page that I wanted to create for this year. These are new spreads that I am planning on doing. And the yearly overview one, I think would be good more so for here on YouTube and then also on my Instagram page, just to kind of keep track of, number one, the number of books that I'm reading, how many arcs I'm reading, how many books I rated 5 stars, how many books were new to me authors, if there's any series that I finished, and then also to help me keep track of some of my goals, which we'll get to in a second, but especially trying to how many books I'm reading by BIPOC authors, by LGBTQ authors, just to kind of help to, like I said, continue to work on my goals towards reading it diversely. And then we get to my goals page, which I will go over all of these goals in detail because, again, I think that's good to share goals. Number one, it helps me because it can help keep me accountable for these goals, to remind myself that I am going to be continuing to work towards these goals. And then two, it can give you ideas for your own goals for the coming years, coming months, whatever you want to do. So number one of my goals for next year is to read one nonfiction book a month. That equals about to 12 nonfiction books a year. This is a goal that I am continuing from 2024. I did not meet this goal for 2024, so I want to continue to have this as a goal until I meet it. And then once I meet it, I might increase this goal to more, just because I am wanting to continue to diversify my reading and to try to learn more about various things in the world and other cultures that differ from my own. Similar to this, I want to read 3 books that are written by BIPOC authors per month. That equates to about 36 books per year. This is another goal that I'm continuing on from 2024. I haven't looked at my yearly stats yet for 2024, so I'm not sure if I actually ended up meeting this goal or not. But this is something that I want to continue. And then if I hit this on the mark every single month for 2025, then I would like to increase this goal moving forward so that I can continue to diversify my reading. I'm hopeful at some point I can make it to where at least 50% of the books that I'm reading are by marginalized people, BIPOC authors, LGBTQ authors, what have you, so that I can continue to read beyond my little scope here in the world. And then my next goal is to read 1 book from my bookshelves every month. And that I left that a little bit more vague because I could either read 1 book from my physical bookshelves, like you see behind me, or that could be 1 book from my Kindle bookshelves, because I buy lots of books, ebooks, that I still have not gotten to. So it could be one of those. This is just a goal to try to work through my backlist of books that I own, because I tend to buy more books than I read, of course. Then I would like to read 3 books from KU per month. This equals about 36 books a year. Now this one I set a goal for myself just because I noticed in 2024 that I was not reading as much from KU being Kindle Unlimited, excuse me. And this is a service that I am paying for. So if I am paying for it, I want to make sure that I am getting the biggest bang for my buck. And I'm setting this as a goal more as a way to look at how I am reading books now. Because if I find myself not reading at least 3 books a month from Kindle Unlimited, then I probably don't need that service anymore. Ebooks usually cost between like $1.99 upwards to like $4.99. I feel like is a pretty good average for ebooks, and Kindle Unlimited currently costs me, I believe, $11.99 a month. So it's just a way for me to try to cut down on costs, or at least if I'm using the service and I'm spending the money on it, I want to make sure that I am actually like fully using the full extent of this service. Then I would like to read one LGBTQ relationship per month in a book. So again, 12 per year. This does not have to be an LGBTQ author, although I would prefer it to also be by an LGBTQ author. This one, as I was going through all of the books and like relationships that I have been reading in 2024, I didn't emphasize LGBTQ stories, and that's something that I would like to try to put more of an emphasis on. Then I have to complete the diverse baseline challenge. I also would like to add to that, which I didn't put in my bullet journal, to complete the building resistance challenge. So then we get to those challenge pages. The building resistance challenge was a challenge that I found on Instagram. This was created by a girl that I follow on Instagram. And this challenge is to read nonfiction books. I believe the challenge is to read 11 nonfiction books, but it is through various categories like reproductive justice, abolitionist futures, racial justice and liberation, just to name a few. But there are various categories. So since I'm already wanting to read more nonfiction books for 2025, I thought joining this challenge would be sort of easy because I'm already trying to do this anyway. But this could just kind of lead me towards nonfiction books that I may not have thought of to read. And since I am also wanting to read nonfiction in various topics, I thought this could help me with that goal. And then the diverse baseline challenge. This is a challenge that was started for 2024. For the 2025 challenge, they have liberalized it a little bit. 2024, you had specific prompts that you were supposed to do for each month, and you were supposed to do, I think, 3 prompts per month. This one, like I said, they liberalized it a little bit, and the only requirement is that you read one of the prompts per month, and that the books that you pick up for all of these prompts, they cannot be by a white author. Those are the only the only big things for this challenge. This was created by 2 individuals that I follow on Instagram, and I really enjoy both of their content. And I like that this challenge is just to try to promote reading diversely and reading outside, like I said, my white home. So the challenge, there's only 12 books, and you complete the challenge. I believe since I am trying to read at least 3 books by BIPOC authors every month, I should be able to complete this challenge no problem. But I figured that this would be a cool way to kind of guide my reading a little bit and maybe help me read a little bit outside my norm. So I did make a page for bonus books that I read. And then the other challenge that I'm wanting to join in 2025, I think I'm being a little bit ambitious with this, but at the same time, I will probably end up capping 2024 with reading about 130 books. So doing 3 different challenges and reading all of these books, I think I should be able to do this no problem. So the other challenge that I'm wanting to do, which I did insert lots of cutouts into my journal, is the Romanceopoly challenge. I ended up doing this book challenge right when I was starting my booktube and bookstagram career, especially when I was starting to really get into reading, and I really enjoyed it. It is this team, they created this, it used to be a Monopoly board, and you would go around the board and do all these different prompts for reading, and it was a year-long challenge. This time they decided not to go with a Monopoly board, but they still wanted to create a game board. So that is what I am putting into my bullet journal, and then it is divided between the different seasons. So we have starting off with winter, then spring, summer, and ending with fall. There are 5 core prompts for each season, and those are like the bare minimum that you have to do. And then there's also different seasonal events that you can do, and then there are bonus holidays that you can do with prompts. So it ends up being a minimum of about 20 prompts, and upwards of, and honestly, I don't really know what the upwards would be because the different seasonal events, it's announced on their website when those are going to happen, but those seasonal events have not been announced what the prompts are going to be for those. But this, again, I thought would be a pretty easy thing to do because I should be able to find books for all of these different prompts. I also figured that some of the prompts from the Romanceopoly book challenge and then the diverse baseline challenge, I might be able to overlap them too. I could just find prompts or find books for the prompts that are just by BIPOC authors, and that would satisfy, for the most part, both of those challenges. But I just thought this would be something really fun for me to do with my reading. We'll see how it goes because I do tend to be a little bit of a mood reader. So going at my own pace. If you are interested in any of these challenges, I will, if I can, I will try to find all the links for all of these. And if I'm able to find all of the materials I use for my book journal, most of my materials are several years old, so I don't know if I'll be able to find all of them, but if I can, I will try to link everything down below in the description box. And then, of course, with the Romanceopoly book challenge, I did at the very end create a a log so I can keep track of all of the prompts that I have completed and what book I completed them with. And then here at the end, you just see my a last run through of all of the pages that I created for the beginning of my book journal. So I really hope that you enjoy this video. Like I said, this gives me a little bit of nostalgia because it brings me back to the very beginning of my YouTube career. I like being creative like this. It's just with being a single mom and having 2 kids and working a full-time job, I just don't have as much room to do all that creativity. But again, I really enjoy you all being here with me, and I really look forward to seeing what 2025 brings for my channel and for my reading and for my Instagram account. I hope I have lots of good feelings, a lot of hope for the growth of my channel. So yeah, so if you enjoyed this content, you enjoy watching my content, watching my videos, again, make sure to hit the thumbs up button. Also leave a comment down below. I love hearing from you all. And otherwise, that is going to be it. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.